You wake up. You try to figure out where you are. Outside, there is an incredible wind noise. Inside the house, there is a disgusting fish smell. Inside, the wood stove is crackling. You are in a Langusta, a Viking longhouse made of stone and wood, on the slope of a snow-covered mountain above the Norwegian fjords. If you are not yet on the side of the Vikings as depicted in the movies, I cried on stage. Scene. If you're in the early 700s AD, you'd probably be fishing, farming, or trading. You'd be selling fur and trading spices, living a peaceful life. Do you know what that means? No peace. And then you realize you're in the Viking Age. That is, after 793 AD. Your mother is usually responsible for maintaining the home and family order. Your mother isn't a soldier, she's a Sjalder, or she could have been a shield maiden, like Ragnar's wife Lagertha. But what was Lagertha? She had more rights than other women in the world, such as divorce and inheritance. In fact, when your father goes to war, he ceremoniously hands over the keys to the house to your mother, because she is the head of the household in his absence. If he dies in battle, everything will go to her, and everyone should see that. If your father is a Jarl, he is like a king. In fact, he is not just a Jarl, he is a king. You are a lucky one. If he is a Jarl, you are the leader of the clan. And leader, you'll probably take over the clan in the future. If you're Huskar, you're a warrior who serves Kanya or Jarl. If you're Thrall, you're probably poor. If you're Varson, you're a slave. If you're Skaldi, your father is a bard. You probably like the arts too, but do you know who your father is? Your father is Hassan Da. All of these things exist because of your father, the Viking who goes on raids and trades, and does trade. He's a true warrior, as you can see. By the way, all of these have one common goal, Valhalla, which is like heaven but a little different. To get there, it's not enough to die. You have to die fighting with honor. In Valhalla, there's still war in the morning, so even if you die, nothing changes. Odin just watches you from above. In the evenings, you hang out with your friends at a place called Sheriminir, with endless pork and beer. Valhalla means being accepted into the Hall of Odin, the god of gods. It's hall and fighting alongside him on Ragnarok, the Day of Judgment. Yes, for Vikings, even death is like a job interview. You've grown up, you're 15 years old. You've learned to shoot a bow, hold a shield, and use an axe. You're about to embark on your first journey. Your only goal is to return home safely. For the first time, you've boarded a long ship. I felt sick on the dragon-headed Viking ship. A Viking who was probably called Iron Fist came up to you. You said you were fine and that nothing was wrong. You tried to appear strong. He smiled slightly, indicating that he didn't care, and handed you an oar. Good luck with your first task. You arrived, but you didn't know what to do. You looked around and observed the others. While Iron Fist was fighting, you sneaked behind him and entered the monastery. Inside, you encountered an Anglo-Saxon. If you were one of the 3 Vikings who appeared on the first try, you died. But you survived with a 66% survival rate and managed to get past the Anglo-Saxon. And succeeded. You stole a golden cross. The looting ended. You returned to the ship. As you walked proudly with the golden cross in your hand, a Jarl noticed you. He invited you to join his clan. Run home and tell your mother. Now I have a clan. You turned 20. If you're still alive at this age, you're considered lucky. The death rate for Vikings who participated in battles was 50%. 50%. So if you're one of 2 Vikings, you're dead. In 5 years, you've gathered a little loot. You now have a home. For these Vikings, it was time to get married. If you can hold an axe, you can go on a raid. If you can afford a house, you can marry a woman. You married a gentle woman. Remember, if you make her unhappy, she may divorce you. At best, she may divorce you. You're 35 years old. 20 years of your life were spent fighting. Plunder, loot, and death. It's a miracle you've made it this far. 3 out of the 4 friends who were born in your village in your time have died. You decided to start your own clan, saying, "Since I've managed to survive this long." You decided to establish your own clan. You had already gained enough power and influence. Now you are a leader. But it's not as easy as swinging an axe. You have to maintain the right balance within and outside. You also have to maintain good relations with rival clans. Because there is a little-known fact. Vikings were constantly at war not only with their enemies but also with each other. Now, you are not only the one who goes on expeditions, but also the one who organizes them. You're 40 years old. You moved slowly in battle, you died. You fought with your clan and lost. You died. You got injured and caught an infection. You died. You forgot to maintain your longships. You forgot to maintain. The ship, it sank, and you died. You caught the flu and there was no medicine, so you died. You were stabbed in the back by people you thought were allies and you died. Probably a bounty was placed on your head, and someone insisted on collecting it, so you died. You were poisoned by your rivals or those who wanted to take your place, and you died. Of the 10 people who started with you, 9 died, and only some made it to Valhalla. You swung your first axe at 15, sailed the seas, in your 20s, and by your 30s, you led a clan. By the end of your 40s, hundreds of battles lost, friends slaughtered, enemies countless, wounds and loot in abundance. Dying in bed is the most humiliating end in Viking culture. You know this now. Your only dream is Valhalla, and there's only one thing left to do. You've woken up, you know where you are. The smell of fish no longer bothers you, and the wood stove is still crackling. You're boarding the longships, but this time there's no crew. With you, you're alone. You've launched an attack to fight an entire village full of enemies. This time it's not for loot, it's for Valhalla. You've paid your respects to the gods, and with your axe in hand, you've opened the gates of Valhalla. Not a bad end for a small villager, huh?